Hey, guess what? It's time again for First Missionary Church Youth Group Hunker Down version volume 3. Yep, we're already at the third week of meeting without actually meeting. Yep. Hey, you know what this Sunday is? Oh, well, yeah, it's Easter, but it's also the due date for the CDYC forms. Yeah. Do you remember that when you were planning on going to CDYC, but in order to go, you've got to turn in a form? Well, the good news is CDYC is still happening when they plan for it. The bad news is not a lot of you have turned in your forms yet, and that includes sponsors. So here's the deal. If earlier you signed up on the list, I'm thinking you're going. So that will be like not even a car full to go to CDYC. So by this week, you need to turn those forms in to me or else suffer the consequences. I don't know what the consequences are. It's probably extra money, you know. Here's how you can find it. Go to the First Missionary Church website. The link is posted right here. That was it. That was the little thud you just heard. And then if you go there and go to the youth ministry page, you can find those forms. You just print them, you fill them out, and then just take a photo of them with your camera or scan them in the scanner bed of your printer and email them to youth@fmcburn.com. I'll get them. They'll be processed. Get them to me by Sunday. We all good? And if you know somebody who's planning on going and they're not watching this tonight, then you probably should get on the phone and make a connection with them, because one of the goals of First Missionary Church Student Ministries is to connect. That's it. Good. Hey, speaking of connecting, we're going to start connecting a little different way. Next week, Hunker Down Youth Group is Zooming your way. I mean, Nicole, well, there we go again, man. You like that Zoom thing, don't you? Yeah. No, we're not Zooming your way that way. What we're doing is next week, look for virtual youth group live. And instead of it broadcasting at 3 o'clock and you can watch it anytime you want, we are going back to our youth group time Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So if your parents need to use their phones and you borrow it to watch this, or if you need the laptop or the computer, just say, hey, we are back to almost normal. Okay? 7 p.m. Wednesday night. We'll be rolling it out then, and we'll keep experimenting and trying to get this thing to be as good a connection, as good a growth time, as good a whatever the third thing is we do, serve. We'll do it the best we can do. If you've not been, however, a Zoom user, that's the platform where you can interact without, meet without meeting, then what you'll need to do is preload onto your preferred device, a laptop, a phone, or whatever. Create your free account. It doesn't cost you anything. They don't track you and do all kinds of weird stuff. And then be ready to use it next Wednesday. So if you have all that stuff done ahead of time, you won't be lagging behind us and miss out those opening kinds of things that we'll be doing. And here's the link that you can go to get to that Zoom account. And if you're having trouble figuring it out, here's a link that will just give you a tutorial on how to use Zoom and set it up. Perfect. That's on there now. Thud. That's the little thud where you see the little link. Hey, I want to give a shout out. No, that wasn't it. I'm just kidding. A shout out to all of you arties, those people who are kind of do the art stuff, who responded to my invitation a couple of weeks ago to say, look, you need to get on it. Not just sit around and just wait for this to be over, but really put your faith into practice and use the skills and the talents you've got. And so I challenged you 2 weeks ago to just give us some artwork that we could take over to Chalet Village and post outside the windows. Well, we got quite a bit of artwork. In fact, right now, let's just show you some of the stuff you all submitted and that being put up on the windows at Chalet Village. And so now that you see that, we protected every one of those little posters, little greeting kinds of things with a sheet protector. Hopefully it withstood the last couple of nights worth of weather. And what we'll do is in the next couple of days, we'll start rotating those things a window at a time so that they get a new greeting every couple of days. I got to tell you what, the residents there, they were thrilled. They'd wave at us through the windows. They'd smile at us. Some of them teared up. Well, that wasn't me crying. That was them crying. And so you are making a difference with those. And if you want to continue doing that, please send me those posters, that artwork, and I'll make sure that we pass that along. Speaking of that little challenge, back when we first did that, Julia Arnold sent me a couple of a photo of some artwork that she had done. Kind of triggered this whole thing. And so as an icebreaker, I don't want us to just do a goofy game that we can't all play here together. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to text me a clip of what you're doing, how you're getting on it, to make sure that you're still doing what Jesus has called you to do. I don't know if that's making phone calls. I don't know if that's serving somebody. Some of you are sewing masks for the healthcare workers. Some of you are shopping for groceries. I don't know what you're doing, but I'd like to know so we can share that with you all. So you can either text me what's going on, or even better yet, if you would make like just a little video clip on your phone, in less than 30 seconds, and you can email it to me at youth@fmcburn.com. I'll make sure we share that with the rest of you, okay? Pretty cool. Hey, for tonight's lesson, it's not me, we have a guest teacher. But it made me sort of think about this particular verse in the Bible as we try to teach you some Bible. And this comes from 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. It's probably really familiar. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, and if they will seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, yeah, and I will hear them from heaven, and I will forgive them of their sin, and I will make them clean within, and I will heal their land, and I'll forgive them of their sin, and I will make them pure within, and I will heal their land. You see why that sort of fits? Because we're just sort of sitting around waiting for somebody to heal this whole COVID-19. But God said, listen, if you'll just humble yourself and if you pray, then keep seeking my face. I'm going to hear you, and I'm going to make this all happen. Okay? And so this week we decided to, even in the focus of Easter and so on, Good Friday, in a couple of days, and it always kind of bothered me that why do we call it Good Friday when it's the day that they killed Jesus? But that's not the whole story. And so what we're going to do as a youth group is we are going to spend a special time, we're going to do a special activity on Good Friday. And I need everybody to participate, okay? Because it's not about me, it's not about First Missionary Church, it's about our land and being healed. And so instead of me talking about it, I want to introduce you to our guest speaker tonight. This person, I'll just be honest with you, it's my favorite youth sponsor, okay? Because it's my wife, Kim. We've been married for 38 years. And this person she understands the importance of prayer. And so she's going to talk to you a little bit now about prayer. So give her your full attention, and we'll give you some instruction here in just a little bit.
Hello all, it's really good to see you. I really miss not being with you. We are in a really special time right now. We are in a time and a season where God has stopped the whole world, and I believe He's calling us to stop, be still, and know that He is God. And another super special thing about this week is that is what the church calls Holy Week. And it's a week in which we remember Jesus' last week on earth and ultimately his death on the cross and the best news ever that he rose from the dead. And on the night before Jesus died, he prayed and he agonized over going to the cross. It wasn't easy. He didn't want to do it. And what he needed most in that time was the support of his closest friends, his disciples. And yet they slept through the whole thing. And Jesus said, could you guys not even keep watch with me just 1 hour? And so what we want to do is we want to have a Jesus watch party on Good Friday. And what we are doing is we are calling all of our sponsors and all of our youth to commit to watching with Jesus for 1 hour. And what this means is it's a time of prayer, but I want to blow up your prayer box for a minute and begin to stretch you in what prayer can be. Prayer isn't just about being on your knees, asking Jesus a bunch of things. It really is about relationship. Prayer is just our way to connect with God, with Jesus, with the Holy Spirit. And it's about communication, listening and talking. And so we want you to commit to 1 hour. And don't worry, I'm going to give you some ideas on how to do this. If you can't do it 1 hour, again, this isn't about condemnation. It's just about trying this out. And so what we want you to do, first of all, is schedule a time. Schedule a time when you're going to be awake and you can do this. And then we want you to let a friend or a sponsor or a family member know when you're doing it. This can help you really stick to it. We call that accountability. And then also they can pray for you during this time, that it is a really special connection with you and God. And so, and again, some of the ideas I'm going to give you, they're just ideas. They're just ways to spur you on. This. You're not locked into this. It's just a way that maybe you can experience God in a different way. So if you did each of these, they'd be about, I don't know, almost 8 minutes each if you did it. And you may find once you get going, you may stick with something longer. Something may not jazz you, that's fine. So find that quiet place, make that time. And one of the first places we want to start is with thanks. So take some time and just tell God all the things that you're thankful for. You may want to make a list. Gratitude lists are great. You may want to get outside and just take a walk and tell him thank you for all of the things you see. The second thing is read. And you will also have, like, we're going to send you a document about this, so you don't have to try to remember all this. But read. We want you to take some time to read or listen to Matthew 27. This is the account of Jesus' crucifixion. And then really see yourself in that scene. Put yourself in the scene. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you experience? You may even want to take some time just to draw this picture. This isn't stuff you have to rush through, but you can really just be with this scene. We've heard about this so many times, but maybe we don't really experience it. So take some time for that. Then write Jesus a letter telling him thank you for all that he did on the cross. The next step or next place you could is confess. And confession is when we just agree with God about where we've messed up, where we've hurt him, hurt others, hurt ourselves, and we let him know that. And one of the things you might want to do here is go to your bathroom. Take one sheet of toilet paper, because we know we got to conserve our toilet paper, and just write down those sins, write down those mistakes, write down those failures, and then flush it down the toilet. And know that that is what Jesus did with our sins. And then right there in your bathroom, just ask him to help you not do those sins again. The next thing would be praise. And this is just letting Jesus know how much you appreciate him. It's turning thanks toward him. One idea you might do is write down all the letters of the alphabet and then see how many things can you come up with that start with those letters that let Jesus know you appreciate him. Like A, he's always there. We don't have to socially distance ourselves from him. We don't have to quarantine ourselves from him. In fact, he wants to quarantine with us in this time. So he's always there. That might be a way you do it. But telling him thank you for all of these that he's done. Then listen, okay? Listen is when we get quiet and we try to hear what he's saying to us. And so take a blank piece of paper and just say, Jesus, what do you want to say to me right now? And just listen. And then write down the thoughts or the impressions. Don't overthink it. You might not hear anything. That's okay. I don't hear a lot of times. But it's just a fun experiment. Or maybe get outside and take a walk and just say, Jesus, what do you want me to notice today? What do you want me to notice that might speak to you? So it's just a practice where we start learning how to hear what he wants to tell us. And for some people, it's easier than others, but it's worth trying because sometimes you hear some really cool things. So we want to listen. After this, pray for others. This one we're pretty familiar with. So take some time and think about the needs of people that you know and pray for them. You might want to call a friend and pray for them over the phone, or you might want to pray with them or a family member. Or send them a text and say, hey, I'm praying for you. So take some time and pray for others. And then finally, music. Worship is a great thing. So think of some songs that you really like or speak to you about Jesus and listen or sing along to a couple of songs. And really just kind of focus on the words with it and make it worshipful, not just singing the words, but really thinking about what they mean to you. And then finally, share what this experience was like with you. I would love to hear from you. You can send me a text or a phone call. My phone number is on the document that you guys are going to receive, because I would love to hear how this goes for you. If you don't make it a whole hour, there is no condemnation, but just know that you began. And so I'm excited to share this Jesus Watch party with you.
All right. So you get this idea of what a Jesus Watch party is. Your sponsors are going to be praying for you so that this whole youth group and this whole youth community is going to be covered by 24 hours of prayer. That our land would be healed, that people would basically come back to Jesus. Okay. And then the other thing is you are going to have this opportunity to pray for each other. Pray for your sponsors. Pray for this transition as Logan and Reagan, come into this youth and start to lead this group of individuals. Pray for your futures. Pray for your present. Pray that you're not just lying around and just doing stuff. This is not about doing stuff. This is about getting on it. So for your breakout time, I want you to get on it. Connect with somebody in your youth group. Pick up the phone and text them or give them a call. Calls are even better because you hear the voice. You get to hear how they're really doing, okay? Or do something, serve somebody. You got to serve somebody. It might as well be the Lord, right? And so serve each other, and we'll be talking to you next week. Have a great night, and peace out.